Good morning. Today we are up and getting out of here. Pretty good time. It's just, well, it's about 9 o'clock. That's pretty good time for us. And it's been really great staying in North Dakota, but today we're moving on to Montana. We will go to Little Bighorn, see that, stay overnight at a campground close by. It's supposed to get hot, but right now it's about 68 degrees and cloudy, and there's really a stiff breeze blowing, and the road is gravel here, so I'm bumping around, and we'll take you along and see what we see today. We have crossed into Montana, and the scenery definitely is changing a bit and getting a lot more rolling green, brown hills, I guess. Sorry for the bumps there. The road's a little bumpy, but I'll turn the camera around and then you'll be able to see what we're seeing. Here we are at Little Bighorn, and it's quite sobering. It's good to go to the visitor center down there first and read about this battle and the people who lost their lives here. And they have crosses out there or markers where the men died, and then there's a bunch of them here in this fenced-in area. And then at the top of the hill, that monument, they did eventually exhume them all and put them up under that monument in a mass grave. What an incredible vantage point. They had the right idea by getting up high, but it didn't work for them in the end. And there you can see where Custer was. When they recovered his body, they moved him to New York, but that's the marker as to where he was standing. And here's the gate to the cemetery up here, or the makeshift cemetery, where the markers show where they fell. On this side is called Wooden Leg Hill, where the Lakota and the Cheyenne were during the last Stand Hill fight. It looks like out there they just had a fire recently, perhaps a controlled burn. But you can really, from these vantage points, really get an idea of how these people were positioned for this battle. They have a memorial here for the horses that died during this. The men hid behind the horses, and over here you can see they put a marker for them. At this monument you will definitely notice that they're working on recognizing the American Indian warriors that fell here as well. And in the beginning, I guess it was mostly a memorial to Custer and his men, and now they are also honoring the lives of the American Indians that were lost here as well. Again, it's just a very sobering sight because not much has changed here. I mean, except for the highway down below, it's probably looks very similar to how it did. And inside this stone enclosure, they have all the memorial sites in granite here on the wall. to the Native Americans that fought here, and then this metal sculpture, which is truly amazing. This all looks quite new. This plaque talks about the survey that the archaeologists did. Yeah. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. It's almost 100 degrees out here, so bear with me. But this is quite interesting. I mean, even down to this picture here of a finger, what was this one? Of a finger bone with a wedding band on it. So that must have been such an interesting thing to do for these people that came out and did that. This is an interesting vantage point because way out there you can see more white markers, and that's where more of the soldiers fell. And yet way up the hill here is where we just came from where Custer's men, where he and the rest of his men were. And these men down here thought that they could hold them off here, hold off the American Indians, but they were surrounded. They were coming from all sides. There's a large cemetery here. Now these are not from Custer's last stand. These are from other battles, other cavalry. They still bury a few here if the spouses had already registered a place, but other than that it is closed to any new burials. Here's an example of one that was moved from Iowa out to here then. So that's what all of these graves are. It goes on and on and on. And such a tremendous view beyond it. Here it shows who's buried in this cemetery, and you can see who they accepted burial reservations for. As you follow the battleground road, there's markers all over. These are Native American ones, and then there's the other ones that were the soldiers, and you'll see them dotted out throughout the fields. This is an incredible view up here. And I'll swing you around to the front. This is where Reno Benteen and his men were staged. This area is all where Reno had his skirmish, and it's nice. They have these little plaques here that give you information, and you can kind of see when you read these and then you look out, you can picture where he was. And they said that he got pushed into the timber, which would be the green area over here. And again, you can see that very well even now. It's so interesting to see, and also interesting to see how vast this land is. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And Custer was way over from where we are right now. So we finished our tour of the little Bighorn Monument, and it is way more than a monument. It's a huge area of land. It's a lot of great history. If you're a history buff at all, you've got to be here, and I would highly recommend. We thoroughly enjoyed our time here, and I hope you give it a chance and come out sometime too. So thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.